Hello, beautiful people. So recently, a friend of mine arrived in Ireland to start his adaptation, and I realized that he didn't even know anything about the vaccinations necessary for a nurse to take while back home before they arrive in Ireland. So I was like, looks like most of us are forgetting some important things to do whilst we are back home before we arrive in Ireland. So in today's video, I'm going to look at the various vaccinations that you should do whilst you're back home preparing your journey to Ireland. So stay tuned. Just to mention that when you're coming in as a health worker, some employers, especially the health service executive, which is the government sector, would actually add it to the forms requesting that you do some vaccinations before you come in. So they even add health form, which will be asking you about your health status. Some will even give you forms that you have to take to your general practitioner for them to sign and all of that. Some of them, you could see that there are lists of vaccinations that they'll be asking you that you should kind of take to show that you've already done those vaccinations. Others, they'll request that you do them before you arrive. Okay, I know in the UK it's mostly about the TB, but in Ireland there's a list of vaccinations that is really needed for health workers to do whilst back home before they arrive in the country. So we are going to look at each and every one of them and see the number of doses that you have to take, okay, and also the intervals. Some of them you've already taken them whilst you're a child or like a baby, okay, whilst others you still have to do them. So we are going to start off with hepatitis B. So with hepatitis B, you have to take it for 3 shots, okay, so it's in 3 doses. And then from a colleague, I never know that you can also take your last dose after 10 years. I didn't know. So let's take it into details. With the hepatitis B, protects you against the hepatitis B virus. Standard dose scheduled for adults, that's 3 doses. The first dose given at any given time. And then the second dose is 1 month after the first dose. And the third dose, that is 6 months after the first dose. At least 8 weeks after the second dose. We also have the alternative 2, which is the dose schedule. We have the Hep-Liv-Vas B. We have 2 doses given 1 month apart only for Hep-Liv-Vas B virus. The next one is going to be for MMR. Okay, so MMR is for measles, it's for mumps, and also rubella. It's also 2 shots. With the MMR, for adults, we had the first dose if no previous vaccinations or immunity, and then the second dose at least 28 days after the first dose. The MMR will protect you against measles, against mumps, and also rubella. So the next one is also hepatitis A, which also protects you against the hepatitis A virus, okay, which actually causes liver disease. The hepatitis A is also 2 shots. With the first shot, you can be given at any given time. And then I know the second shot can be given 6 to 18 months apart. The next one is yellow fever. With the yellow fever, it's just 1 shot and it protects you for life. So with the yellow fever, it says that the vaccine that protects you against the yellow fever virus, which is transmitted by mosquitoes and can cause serious illness, in particularly in certain parts of Africa and then South America. So with the dose, it's a single dose of the yellow fever vaccine provide lifelong protection for most people. The booster dose is generally not needed, although certain countries may require it for travelers. Okay, so it depends on the country that you're actually traveling to. And the last on my list is COVID-19 virus. Yes, so we all know about COVID-19. I'm not going to talk much about it, but at least I'll say that with the COVID-19, you should have the booster, okay? So you can take your 2 doses and then you can have the booster as well. When it comes to the TB, okay, as I said earlier on, it's particularly with the UK, okay? In Ireland, I think some health service executive, which is the government sector, might ask you to provide results on that. Just to mention that when you arrive in Ireland, your employer would actually ask you to visit the occupational health, where you are going to test your blood and also do some vitals to see like your general health. They're just going to do blood titration to see if all these vaccines are in your system, okay, or whether you are immune to these diseases. If you are not, then you might have to take the vaccinations while in Ireland. So now I'm going to share with you all a sample of a pre-employment medical form I actually have on my phone from a different employer, not even my employer. They might just ask you some few questions like questionnaire about some of the vaccinations that you've been able to take and then the others that you have not been able to take. So from what I have here, we have tuberculosis, which is the BCG. You can see it's asking, have you been immunized for the following and on what date? In this case, if you have been asked on what date, then you might need to go for your weighing card and then put the dates. So we have the first one, tuberculosis, which is the BCG. You can see that the person has actually written the dates for that. We also have typhoid, poliomyelitis. We also have tetanus, diphtheria, Hep B, rubella, and COVID. And then it's also asked whether you have ever suffered from the following in the last 6 months. You have the rheumatic fever, you have mumps, typhoid fever, food poisoning, and also tuberculosis. So these are some of the questions that you might be asked to answer. Okay, so per that, it should at least signal you that if you haven't taken the necessary vaccinations, then you should take the necessary vaccinations. Entering Ireland, and then you haven't done any of this, I'll just advise you to at least start, okay, with the ones that you haven't started already. If you've already had, let's say, the hepatitis B in some years ago, then you don't have to go for a new shot, because they are still going to titrate to see if the vaccines are in your system. This is the end of today's video. I hope that this video has been of great benefit to you. If this is your first time of coming across my YouTube channel, remember to like and also subscribe to my channel. Anytime I post videos, you'll be notified of same. For those sending me emails about CV preparation, about mentoring for Ireland journey and all of that, please just check my membership section. If you go on my homepage, just click on the homepage, just scroll to your right, you're going to see membership. Then you can sign up to that membership, and then you can also send me an email about that. Then we can, take it up from there. It's easier that way from other countries for you to make payments. Otherwise, I've provided all videos on how to migrate to Ireland. I've actually made it very simple for everybody to just be able to do it on their own. But if you really want my extra time, then you have to pay for it. Remember to like and also share this video. See you all soon on my next video. Bye.